back, Kings of War fans, to a community update for this week ending in the 15th of May 2020. The biggest news of the week was Mantic's virtual open day, which is like a normal open day, but it's virtual over 2 days and you get free tours of Ronnie's house. If you missed out on the 2-day extravaganza hosted by the gorgeous Rob Berman, then there's a summary on the Mantic blog. I'm not about to go through everything that happened because, frankly, there's far too much. There was a little sculpting session with like a rat on it. A rat! We love rats. And then there was a brilliant preview of all of the new Kings of War and Vanguard models. I think everyone's favourite is the Soul Flayers, which apparently are Night Stalkers unit, but come on, have a look at them. They're undead. And those of you who like Ratkin, which I assume is all of you, because who doesn't love Ratkin, will get very excited at the news of a 2-player starter set featuring goblins versus rats. Rats! Yay! Perhaps the coolest thing was the Universal Battle preview of the new Magic supplement. This is not going to be a summer campaign, but it's a kind of supplement for fun play with your friends. Remember that? Fun! We like that! Matt James from the Rules Committee took us through some of the principles of the supplement, which is kind of crazy magic taking over. You can play in different planes of existence, and you roll on special tables to give weird effects at the beginning of every game. This isn't intended for tournament play, and this was the first ever playtest of it live in front of an audience, but I think it looked really good fun. I can't wait to get stuck in, and Matt's promised lots more to come prior to its release in the autumn. I'll put a link to the -28 live battle report in the links below this video. You can head over and check it out, although you can skip through the battle and just listen to Matt talk about how the supplement's going to work, which sounds good. I don't know what more to say about it, really. Go and check it out. Go on. Go on. Go on. One of the participants of the battle was Elliot Morrish, who's put his impressions of playing on his rather excellent blog. He talks about fun in Kings of War and it makes a really interesting read, but I've noticed Elliot's been blogging rather a lot lately, and then I found out his broadband's down, which goes quite a long way to explain it, really. Speaking of excellent blogs, Danny Graves has also updated his blog, although he hasn't returned my Facebook message. Makes me sad. His latest blog also looks at fun, but more from a thematic point of view, looking at the fluff for Kings of War. I think this is a really interesting question, which has seen some interesting debate on the Kings of War Fanatics group recently. Danny looks at some of the thematic elements that draw some armies together, and thinks about the business decisions that might have driven them. As always, it's an excellent read, and I heartily recommend you check it out. John Fawkes has been commentating on some of the -28 live battle reports, and he seems to have caught the bug, resurrecting the 4 Foot Snake podcast as a video channel. He's live streamed / kind of live streamed some of his recent battles against some familiar faces, including Daniel King, Bob Astland, and coming up John Guns, some of my favourites. John's a lovely genial bloke, a very long-standing member of the Kings of War community, and I want you to go over and check him out immediately. Well, not right now, you need to watch the rest of this first, but then after that, okay? There was an interesting post on the Mantic Facebook page and practically everywhere else on social media where they were asking for playtesters to join a group for something coming in the pipeline. There is, however, an exciting picture of the Rats vs Goblin battle on the 2-player playset thing. Anyway, you need an NDA and to send a brief application to playtestfeedback@manticgames.com detailing your credentials and worthiness. We're not worthy. I'm not worthy of anything. God. Another blog I found almost by accident was Richard Boger's Fanplastic Little Men, which is his miniature painting service and hobby blog. He covers a bunch of different gaming systems, but what I found really interesting for obvious reasons was his almost entirely Mantic Ratkin force. He's not even been working on it that long, and he's managed to build up a huge collection of Ratkin made from all Mantic models. Clearly Ratkin a flavour of the month, as they should be, and another hobbyist who's been working on a new Ratkin force is Cy Brand. My favourite of the many models he's been posting are these scratch-built tunnel runners, which he's constructed from little spare parts, his son's toy box and Mantic Ratkin. I think these are fantastically creative and I can't wait to see what else springs from his fertile loins. No, maybe his loins, but, you know. Another player I've been following with interest is Steve Evans. Steve has his own page called 2020 A New Beginning where he's tracking through his Kings of War adventures. He's up to nearly 400 different models or units painted this year alone. But my favourite for what he posts is his 6mm Kings of War forces. This is an example of, okay, I've chosen rats again. I'm sorry, I can't help it. They're teeny weeny weeny. And one of 5 6mm forces that he possesses, which they play on a 2x2 board. I'm not sure if Bob Nelson has posted this to any groups, but if you're lucky enough to be friends with him, you can see his latest Brock troop. These shield maidens have got hair that looks suspiciously like his partner Janice, although I am uncertain on her record for riding giant badgers. One thing is for certain though, these models are ace. I've seen quite a lot of Sylvankin armies popping out lately, and one of the ones that caught my eye was George Adson Knudsen. No, I give up. Apart from being really pretty, this is the first army George has managed to get through without being distracted by a different army. That's a lot of shamblers. Good work, fella. Just when you think you've seen every giant conversion it's possible to have, Phil Rawson pops up with this amazing kit bash where he's put together some skeletons and a couple of giant models. Actually, it's one giant model, I think you get 2 heads. Anyway, his version of the Night Stalker Shadow Hulk has skeletons emerging from the skin of his purple beast, which is fantastically creative and I think looks brilliant. Jean-Marc, oh no, hang on, he's French, sorry. Jean-Marc a posté ces magnifiques disjoncteurs de siege ogre à groupe ogre sur Facebook. Regardez ces boucliers personnalisés, un travail fantastique. Published author Ben Stoddard, yay, has posted his stand-in for Magua and Juice to the Kings of War Fanatics group, featuring this rather grumpy-looking goblin on a tortoise. Now, I'm not sure what the speed of Magua and Juice is, but it's going to be faster than that, surely. I really like Andy Marshall's Winged Slasher, which he's posted on this giant building. Apart from anything else, it just gets you up above the units you're trying to fight, but I have noticed he's got a bendy pole there, Andy. He's got a bendy, his pole's all bendy. Make his pole not bendy. I also really liked Adam Mee's Vampire and Undead Dragon. Apart from anything else, I wish I could paint bone like that. God, look how clean it is. That's a lovely clean paint job. Really, 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 really good. Good. It's good to see Louis Augustus making a return with this unit of Revenants. What I really like is that they're individual models, but they slot almost seamlessly into this base. His weathering and the atmosphere that he puts into his painting is just fantastic. You'll also be able to check out an interview with him on Countercharge coming really soon. Something that really caught my eye this week was Dave Carlton's diorama that he made up of some spare minis that he had lying around. I know that every unit in Kings of War is a diorama, but it's really quite rare to see one that's just a diorama for fun, just so you can look at something cool. Since fun is the theme of this week's news update, why not do a few more of these? There's no reason, but hell, painting is its own reward sometimes, and I think this is just such a fantastically lovely piece. Well, that's it for this week. I know at this point in the video, normally I say something like, I'm sure I've missed loads of stuff you've posted. I know for a fact I've missed tons of stuff you've posted this week, because I've seen stuff and gone, I've already written down loads of things. That's great, but I don't have room. So sorry everyone, let's move on. You're all wonderful. That looked good, and that looked good too. That one wasn't so good, but I really appreciate the effort you put into it, okay?